Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Thank you for having the hearing. And welcome, Ms. Walden, this afternoon. Cybersecurity is a defining political, economic, and national security challenge for our time. From malicious foreign actors' online destabilization and espionage campaigns to ransomware incidents that compromise government and private sector information technology networks, these attacks have cost the United States billions of dollars and countless critical strategic disadvantages. In fiscal year 2021 alone, U.S. federal agencies, which depend on IT systems to carry out operations and protect essential information, were the target of more than 32,500 cybersecurity incidents. In the last half of 2022, cyber attacks targeting governments jumped 95% worldwide and cost an average of $2.07 million per incident, a 7.25% increase from the previous year alone. Data breaches also affect the private sector, including educational institutions and healthcare centers. In 2022, the FBI received almost 801,000 phishing, personal data breach, and other complaints representing estimated losses of more than $10.2 billion. According to a 2021 survey by research firm Advisor Smith, 42% of small and medium-sized U.S. businesses had experienced a recent data breach, 42%. The estimated average cost totals almost $9.5 million per breach, higher than any other country in the world. And 60% of organizations have raised prices on consumers to cover those costs. Experts now predict that the annual cost of cybercrime will climb to over $10 trillion in the next number of years. Cyber attacks will eventually hit close to home for everybody. For Congress, it was most recently the hack of the D.C. HealthLink, which operates a healthcare system used by most members of Congress and our staff. Before that, it was the 2015 OPM data breach that exposed the private information of nearly 22 million individuals, including my own personal information. Cyber threats are not new, as information security has been in the Government Accountability Office's high-risk list since 1997. For those who are concerned, you're right to be concerned. But we cannot just throw up our hands. We must act quickly and decisively to secure digital infrastructure, protect the integrity and confidentiality of our data, and preserve public trust in government institutions. I'm proud that Democrats in this committee did just that and helped to lead the bipartisan fight to establish the Office of the National Cyber Director, the ONCD, in FY 2021. The NCD is required to coordinate the whole of government effort to elevate American safety in the digital world, including through the development and implementation of the National Cybersecurity Strategy. I applaud this and look forward to hearing more from our witness today. Drawing on bipartisan ideas, including those vested in the recommendations of the Cyberspace Solarium Commission, the Biden-Harris strategy, as presented, is a bold, comprehensive plan for government and industry to create a safer digital ecosystem for all Americans. Recognizing that cyber threats cut through all industries and ignore geographic borders, the plan will examine the regulatory landscape to harmonize cybersecurity standards across different sectors and around the globe. With so much at stake, it's critical that our regulatory landscape allow industry to focus on security outcomes, not duplicative or nonsensical compliance burdens. We also know that if hackers fail to break into one agency or system, they will seek out vulnerable entry points elsewhere, and they do. We must address the current patchwork of cyber regulations to ensure that cybersecurity protections flow seamlessly and efficiently across industries and government. The strategy realigns incentives to ensure the federal government's investments enhance the long-term strength of our cybersecurity posture. For example, it harnesses the federal government's purchasing power to shape market demand for safe and secure technologies. Through programs such as the Federal Risk and Authorization Management Program, FedRAMP, which this committee passed legislation for that became law, we can bake into a product rather than an additional expensive feature. Additionally, the strategy redistributes the responsibility so that those best positioned to protect the cybersecurity of our citizens, schools, hospitals, and small businesses, are required to take reasonable steps to do so. For example, it embraces liability for software companies that fail to use best practices or take reasonable precautions to secure their own products. If we do not hold bad actors, or actors more focused on sales than security, accountable, we disadvantage responsible companies that take time to follow these best practices, and we increase systematic risk for our constituents. As the administration works to implement this strategy, Congress must provide the funding and clarify the authorities needed to ensure its success. As former chair of Government Operations Subcommittee and a current member of this subcommittee, I know it is essential that we invest in modernizing our legacy IT systems and recruit and maintain a federal cyber workforce for the future. Federal government must improve its internal practices. It must reap the benefits of the latest cybersecurity technologies and increase cooperation with the private sector. I look forward to understanding how the ONCD will leverage this plan and collaborate with other congressionally empowered IT and cyber-related leaders to promote the kind of accountability our critical federal systems need. With that, I yield back.